Welcome back to Late Edition. We're continuing our conversation about anti-Arab sentiment in the United States with Republican Congressman Daryl Issa, Hussein Ibish of the American Arab Anti-Discrimination Committee, and Michael Weisskopf of Time Magazine. We have a caller from Texas. Go ahead with your question, please.
Hello.
Go ahead.
Yes, this is for Mr. Issa and Mr. Ibish. I lived in California for a while, and I was familiar with the media. Lived in Malibu for 30 years. And the media, as far as I can see, definitely has a pro-Israel tilt. Like Wolf Blitzer, for instance, he's not elected like Daryl Issa. Daryl Issa is a...
All right. I guess,
I guess
we either cut him off or we lost him. But I have to confess, I have not been elected to any job. Let me start off with you, Congressman. What do you think about the pro-Israel tilt, supposedly, in the mainstream news media?
Well, first of all, I think America, there have been polls, Gallup polls just out today, America has a tendency to be pro-Israel. So if the media somewhat reflects what's going on with its constituency, there's nothing unusual about that. Second of all, please, Wolf, do not come to my district and run against me. It could be quite a challenge.
There's no such threat. Let me ask Michael Weisskopf. He's a respected member of the national news media, Time Magazine, a critically important publication in the United States. How much of an anti-Arab, if there is an anti-Arab bias, is there? I got to tell you, and I'm sure you get the same kind of email I get, we're hammered all the time that we're either pro-Israeli or anti-Israeli or pro-Arab, anti-Arab. We get hit from all sides.
American reporters, like the rest of the society, are somewhat culture-bound, and we reflect often popular views. Often those views are wrong, and we are learning the rules of engagement as we go along about the Arab and Muslim community, just as we did about the evangelical community or years ago about the Jewish community. There are certain sensitivities that come up, and we learn about them and check them. However, I have to say, although you weren't elected, you served in the Middle East, and American reporters in the Middle East generally begin to identify with the underdog in this story. Ask the Israelis, for instance, what kind of a pro-tilt or pro-Israel tilt there may be in American reporters, or pro-Arab tilt. And you'll hear probably from them that American reporters are by and large overly critical, they scrutinize us too much, and they hold them against our standards.
Hussein Ibish, as you know, the Israelis are always complaining that the mainstream American news media is anti-Israel.
Yes, because they're basically professional reporters who are doing the reporting, are reporting most of the basic facts, and some of those reflect negatively on Israeli policies, and people don't want any negative news about Israel. Right now, I think there are a lot of supporters of Israel who regard any criticism of any Israeli policies or any facts that reflect negatively on Israel as a kind of sign of a deep, abiding anti-Semitism or hostility to Israel. That's not fair. But on the broader point about anti-Arab sentiment in the American media or this sort of thing, I'd like to say, I mean, it's reflective, I think, of a growing alienation between Arab society generally and American society generally. And you see the same kind of effect in the Arab media with a lot of irresponsible commentary and reporting about the United States. And I think we'd really like to appeal to both the American press and the Arab press to be more receptive to each other's point of view and take a more responsible role. I think that they're, in a sense, fueling a growing and very dangerous alienation between Middle Eastern and American societies that frightens me a great deal.
And Congressman Issa, go ahead, Congressman Issa.
Yeah, one of the things that, because I do meet so often with both Arab American and Lebanese American groups, and as you know, about 3/4 of America are Lebanese Christians. And more often from all these groups, but maybe more often those who have been here a little longer, what I'm seeing from these groups is almost the same thing that America's asking for, which is don't unfairly profile people, but hey, just because I'm a Lebanese American doesn't mean that I'm not concerned on an airplane looking around wondering if there's somebody there who means to do us wrong. And so I get a lot of positive support from within the American community of Lebanese and other Arabic descent that they don't want to be treated wrong, but they don't want to be left unprotected. And I think it's that balance that the administration is trying to achieve.
Well, I strongly agree with that.
I mean, I just want to bring in, Michael Weisskopf on this other issue that developed this week, but it's part of a continuing pattern. The Justice Department, U.S. attorneys out there going after charities, supposed charities, alleging that these are really mostly Islamic or Arab charities, front groups for what the State Department would regard as terrorist organizations, whether Hezbollah or Hamas or Islamic Jihad. How much of a problem is this, though, for legitimate Arab and Muslim charities out there when they have the Justice Department really going in and taking such a close look at all these various groups?
It's pretty simple. All they have to do is open their books and show where the money goes. In these cases, there was a money trail leading to terrorist groups or terrorist supporters, and this justified, in the eyes of the Justice Department, these types of activities. This goes to the issue of discretion again, and I believe the Justice Department is using a great deal of it before it makes decisions like that.
All right. Unfortunately, we have to leave it right there. Michael Weisskopf, Congressman Daryl, Issa, Hussein Ibish, thanks to all three of you. An important discussion on this very important issue this week. Appreciate it very much. When we return, your letters to Late Edition, plus Bruce Morton's essay.
What's happened to the detainee?